Today on Geek Dad Live, we're going to talk about the Unused Ghostbusters theme, as well as talking about those new photos for Mandalorian Season 2 and that insane new Dune trailer. Hey everybody, and welcome to Geek Dad Live. It's your host, Jay Gladfelter here, and with me every Thursday at 9 o'clock on this live extravaganza is Ralph Oppel. How you doing, Ralph?
Doing good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. You staying safe in California with all these fires going on?
Yeah, it's a little yellow outside.
It
a
is.
little bit.
We were just talking about it before we started the show, but that video footage, that drone footage of SF with the Blade Runner 2049 music is really, really, really eerie.
Yeah.
Really eerie.
Is that Hans Zimmer? Did Hans Zimmer do that score? I think he did.
Really?
He's supposed to. Yeah.
I like the score. Do you not like that score? Because of Hans Zimmer?
It's just in general, yeah. I like the movie a lot. And if Hans Zimmer doesn't mess it up, then that that's cool. So it didn't take anything away from the movie for me. But I think he might have done it with someone else. I think it was him and someone else. Well, I mean, it's always him and someone else, but someone else got credit up front.
Well, yes, and we already have some people talking in the chat. Ghostbusters fan 64513 said that I heard the Unused Ghostbuster theme over a year ago, and I saw the full vid a whole year ago too. Now, but for some reason now people are only just finding out about it, and yeah, it's true. I saw the theater promo reel or a couple of different ones before. This one was the first time I saw this particular version. I think it was for Vegas, but the main thing there was this new Ghostbuster theme that I had never heard before. So excited to talk about that today. Let's see, giraffe named Gerald. We haven't seen you in a while. Yes, some new ghosts I got about Ghostbusters. Can't wait. And then Luis Rivera. Hello, Luis. Good to see you again. Ralph, I don't know if you watched or listened to Toy Geeks this past week, but Luis shared this really cool Ecto-1 toy from when he was a kid. And he told a story about he came, I believe it was from Puerto Rico, moved to the States, and he was only allowed to bring so much stuff like in a box with him. And this was one of the things that survived. And he wanted to restore that Ecto-1 to make it look like a as it did at day one. But he, as a kid, custom made it into an Ecto-1A by using Ghostbuster 2 logos from newspaper clippings. Like I used to have the movie times.
Yeah.
So in that show, we convinced Luis to keep this one as is because it's the only one. This is it. I mean, he made this as a kid.
One of a kind.
Exactly. So you're on the side of him keeping it as is as well, Ralph?
Yeah. It's made this journey.
Mm-hmm.
And you have sentimental value towards that and keep it true to that journey. If you want to get another one that you can fix up, go for it. But I feel like this one right here doesn't need to be restored. You don't want to erase any sort of memories that come with this story. So I say leave it as is, and then get a new one.
Yep,
get a new one. And if you want a restored, cleaned up version, but yeah, this one's really cool.
Yeah, and I love how the one on the hood, you can see the little bit of Statue of Liberty there on the Ghostbusters 2 logo, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So anyways, I believe we convinced Luis to keep it as is, and he says, "Yep, on display."
Good.
Ray John, good to see you, bud. Love your stuff as well. I believe you're in my, recommended channels list on my YouTube channel page. But yes, doing some new things for the show today. Since we got in a lot of trouble with Disney last week by posting up those videos. It was just trying things out. Sorry, Disney. So instead of showing videos as I'm going, I mean, I might still do it in the future, but I'm gonna maybe cool it this week. So links to all the videos and stuff we're talking about are already in the description. So if you want to go watch it, you can just go watch it and then not get me in trouble. But we'll still have some images and stuff like that to go along with what we're talking about today. But yeah, I think that's. Oh, and just a couple other housekeeping things. Zach and I are still working on our review of the Super Van City, the new Micro Machine Super Van.
Wow.
City. So
wait, Micro Machines are back?
Micro Machines are back, and they made a new version of one of the legendary playsets of all time, the Super Van City. Right. So that will hopefully be up on Saturday. So be on the lookout for that.
My favorite Micro Machine, they had a 57 Chevy, a little tiny 57 Chevy. And I loved it because it was, the same style car as my Mask Hurricane with Hondo McLean.
Yep.
This dude's had some shelf life.
You would have probably liked Toy Geeks this past week as well, because we talked about there was a big Mask warehouse find of sealed in shipper containers Mask toys. Huge warehouse find. Tons of like case fresh Mask toys, which was kind of nuts. Can't wait for the new Ecto for the figures you already own. Yeah, like somebody got one. Somebody got one of the new Ecto ones that's coming out for the Fright Features line. I've seen it online. That's the only one I've seen. I've been scouting the net because if I can see one, I'm gonna buy it and get it before it hits toy shelves if I can. It looks really cool. It's definitely inspired by the vintage one from Kenner. And then old school Shinobi's in the house. Was that the 57 Chevy Mask toy, Ralph?
Yes, Hurricane. Right now it's in battle mode. It's got
that's one of the ones I don't own. I do want to add that one to my Mask collection, but I have not at a reasonable price. But I've got the big ones. I've got Boulder Hill. I've got the Camaro one called
Thunderhawk.
Thunderhawk. Yeah. I think you're right.
I need to rewatch Mask.
Anyway.
Okay, just real quick, a little Mask tangent.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a kid living in Southern California, Mask was popular, and at Knott's Berry Farm, they had 2 of the Mask vehicles show up.
What?
They had, I think it was Thunderhawk. If someone can, the Camaro, Matt Tracker's Camaro, I believe it was Thunderhawk, and then also Hurricane. They had 2 full-size vehicles of these kind that were painted in the Mask color scheme. I don't think they transform or did anything.
Yeah.
But I just remember seeing that commercial all the time locally for Knott's Berry Farm. Can't find that commercial anywhere.
Oh, man.
And I can't find any sort of proof of the existence of these cars, because I'm assuming they went to Knott's and then traveled to somewhere else and then traveled to somewhere else. I'm sure it's a promotional thing. So if anybody out there, you can ask around, knows about these Mask vehicles, it was definitely Thunderhawk and Hurricane, because I wanted to go to Knott's so bad to see Hurricane.
Yeah,
I'm assuming it was just a 57 Chevy that was painted the same, but it had like the hardcore like tinted windows, the exact color scheme. It was awesome.
I'm surprised in this world where like all this stuff will pop up that hasn't yet. That'd be a good investigative story. The search for Hurricane. I bet you I would probably go to try and find some former Kenner employees, maybe some that worked on the Mask line, because I guarantee you they would know, because that would be run by Kenner as promotional stuff. Like they might be able to track that easier, but I mean, who knows?
It exists. So if anybody out there that's listening to this hears this and has any information on that, just let me know. VHS Dude on Twitter. And
we're gonna get to the bottom of this, Ralph. We're gonna find it for you. in time for Christmas miracle. I heard they are out in South America. That's the one that I've only seen one picture out of South America though. So are they like straight up out there? Or maybe just a couple, because the ones that have hit in the United States, just the figures, are Hasbro somehow accidentally let some ship. That's how I got mine. But I wonder if it's the same in South America, or are the Ecto ones straight up being sold there, and why haven't they shown up more on eBay and stuff? Maybe I need to switch to the South American eBay. I've done that a few times. That's part of the hunt. Let's see. Giraffe named Gerald. I was lucky to get the real Ghostbusters Ecto one with all 4 of the Ghostbusters coming with all of the proton packs and ghosts with a stay puff for $54. That's a good find, man. That's crazy. Luis says this might be a Mandela effect type thing, but isn't the Thunderhawk a Chimera but had gull-wing doors?
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And I want to say that the one that was on display had the gull-wing doors, but it could be wrong.
A Chimera. Wow.
It could be wrong. That might have been something that was retrofitted. Listen, I don't want to say things for sure. I don't want to lie, but I know that the Thunderhawk and the Hurricane were there.
Yep.
And they were exactly the same paint schemes as the figures, as the vehicles. Like with the where the stickers are on the Thunderhawk, like the blue and white grid with the lightning bolts and stuff, looked identical. And I think it was just for a photo op, but it was in the commercials. I mean, I can look around here for blank tapes or stuff that people recorded off a TV, which is thing. But man, I don't know if I were to come across that, I would freak out if I'm the one to discover that. But it's like right now, everyone's still in a pandemic and the sky is yellow, and I don't think I'm gonna be able to find any
right now.
any like recorded on tapes. Anytime soon. But if anyone's out there knows anything about this, I just want like validation, because I know I remember this. I don't want to think that I remember this.
No, I get it. It's sometimes, and there's something really special about those moments where you have a memory, it's there, but that's all it is a memory, and then you see it in real life, and you're like, oh my god, it was real. It wasn't just like a thing that I imagined in my head.
And I know those two things for sure. There may have been a guy dressed as Matt Tracker with the mask. I could be wrong, but
now, did you ask Matt from Dinosaur Dracula, because he has a really extensive video?
You know what? I'll reach out to him. And I'll find out. I should talk to. There's a couple of mask centric Twitter feeds out there. I don't know.
You need to
feel like it's so specific.
Are you afraid they're going to be like, no, that never happened? Or
no, I mean, I feel like it's just not something that, like Matt's from back east and some of the other mask mobile armor strike command Twitter feeds aren't from around here. I feel like it was a really local Knott's Berry Farm commercial. It's not something that would have shown nationwide. It was definitely for people in Southern California. Like they're not going to tell the nation, "Hey, come look at these 2 cars painted like toys."
To your point, though, they could have been touring. So that's what
I thought, but I could not find it. I could not find it. I thought that I assumed it would be touring. But even if it was something that showed up at malls, something like that, like it's gotta. I don't know.
Old School Shinobi says it's probably lurking on a tape in the middle of stack to be watched by one of the many vintage VHS footage channels on YouTube, including yours.
Yeah. It's not on mine.
Well, I hope we find that. And for those who don't know, Knott's Berry Farm, I mean, if you're a Southern Californian, you know Knott's Berry Farm. But if you're not from there, it is a theme park that's like the not Disneyland theme park in Southern California. But it's fun. It has its own charms. It has its own things. I don't think anymore, but for a long time, like Peanuts characters were kind of the license.
They're still there.
Oh, they're still there? Okay.
They're all still there.
Camp Snoopy and all that. So yeah, it was great. Knott's Berry Farm was where you went to when Disneyland was too crowded or just do something different. But anyway, great park, great theme park. And but actually, I think Knott's Berry jams and stuff are still nationwide. So if you ever have like Knott's Berry jelly or whatever, that's.
I think the jams got bought out by Smuckers, but they still use the brand. And then the park got taken over by Cedar Fair, which is a big, yeah. But they're all keeping it. The original Knott's Berry Farm, it used to be a farm.
Yep.
Where they created the boysenberry. Mrs. Knott had a chicken restaurant, and the chicken restaurant would have long lines, and so to kind of entertain the people during the line, like while she was doing the chicken restaurant, they put up like a ghost town, like a fake ghost town that people could walk around and be entertained by, and it just kind of expanded into a theme park with like water rides and roller coasters and stuff. It's a cool place.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun.
Jam packed in this just small area.
Yeah, you can pan for gold. Just a lot of fun stuff.
That stuff.
Ralph must be thinking of The Mask with Jim Carrey. That's what Fetz has to say.
What if Stanley Ipkiss was in Mobile Armor Strike Command?
All right. So let's get into the Week in Geek, Ralph. Anything else before we get into the Week in Geek?
No, I'm good.
All right. Well, it is time to dive into the Week in Geek. Now, we kind of hit on this right after or right as we started the show, but
so excited.
Things started popping up around the internet, or at least resurfacing on the internet. And I've seen different clips before, but it's really cool. It's Dan Aykroyd and Bill Murray kind of soliciting Ghostbusters, the movie, in their suits in front of the original Ecto one. And this one was for the Las Vegas theater chains. And the link's in the description below. But it's really cool. There's also Dan Aykroyd drops an F-bomb in reference to the film being PG. But it's cool to kind of hear them just joke around and try and sell the movie to theater chains, which is kind of a novel thing.
Right. I think what's great about it is, and I mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, there's a score by John Williams for a movie called Heartbeeps. Not a very good movie, but the score came out right between E.T. and Raiders, or I guess Raiders and E.T. So it's like right in that heyday of John Williams.
Yeah. So
if you listen to John Williams now, his sound is different than during like Jaws to Temple of Doom sort of era.
Yep.
So when you find Heartbeeps, you're like, oh man, this is awesome because it's like brand new old John Williams. So this footage coming out is like seeing brand new old Ghostbusters.
Yes.
Like it's right like at that time. Like no matter how good the graphics are in a video game now, or if they show up in the remake, it's not going to be the 1984, I guess 83 Ghostbusters. You know, it's so having this come up is like it's not like canon. It's not like, but it is seeing those guys again for the first time. Like you'll never get to see the Ghostbusters movie again for the first time. And this is kind of like a little nugget of what that would be.
Yeah.
And it's cool, man. Like it's immediately makes you feel like you're in 1984. So like any sort of footage Ghostbusters related is going to get you super amped. There's, up until 4 years ago, there's only 2 Ghostbusters movies. And so your Ghostbuster content was relegated to the cartoon and then maybe comic books, hopefully a video game. It kind of reminds me of Star Wars in that way. There was a definite long dark time. So if someone were to unearth some sort of like Return of the Jedi footage, like where the characters or the actors are dressed in character, like you'd be like, oh man, whoa! It's like a really cool, like just a little piece of your favorite thing that you haven't gotten to see yet, and you're kind of treated to it. I was that way when the Rise of Skywalker came out on digital and Blu-ray. I got it on a digital, and there was like a feature-length documentary about the series over the course of like 40 years. And they have a lot of behind-the-scenes footage in that I had never seen before. And I've seen all of Star Wars.
Yeah.
So if you get a chance, it's like a feature-length documentary. It's on iTunes. It's on the iTunes. I think it's on the Blu-rays and stuff. But there's all kinds of behind-the-scenes footage and a lot of what do you call it? Interviews with cast that I haven't seen before. It's like you just hope for stuff like that because you just assume you've seen it all.
Exactly.
And then something comes along. That's going back to Luis. You're never gonna see an Ecto 2 toy like that ever again.
Yeah.
So why wipe it clean?
Exactly.
It's one of a kind. Leave it as it is. It's a total like that's cool. I think that's cool. And I'm sure when you saw it, you're like, oh man, like you'd like to get your hands on that. I'm sure. Like it's such a cool bit of like unique something that you haven't seen before.
Exactly. That's because I did this, I restored an Ecto 1A, and I got a little bit of pushback. People upset that I didn't completely get rid of all the old stickers and put new ones on. I only replaced the ones that fell off.
Right.
And part of that for me too is like, well, they survived this long. They still look good enough. Like, sure, they're a little bit more aged, but like that's the original ones that came with it. They made it that far. I'm not going to take that away from this car. To me, I want to get as original as possible because that's what I want on my shelf. I want an original one. And so he reached out because he was missing the fin on this side, and he saw that I had a lot of fins when I was picking to restore. And I say you're 100% right, Ralph. I was just like, don't touch this. Don't do it. I have seen hundreds of Ecto 1s and 1As in my. I've been collecting Ghostbusters for 30 years, like hundreds, and I've never seen one like this before. I've never seen a kid that customized an Ecto 1 to be an Ecto 1A from Ghostbusters 2.
And then to have it survive for so long.
Exactly.
Like toys don't survive, like because they get played with.
Exactly.
I like it as is.
So part of that trailer. Well, first let's bring in some comments, and then we'll get back into it. PD Dubs, heyo, PD Dubs, glad to have you here. Video game lover 58, hello, welcome. Old School Shinobi said, John Williams did the score for a great 75 Clint Eastwood flick, The Iger Sanction. Never heard of it.
Haven't heard of it. I'll have to check it out. And it's fun kind of going into those and finding old stuff. I like John Williams. And it's fun when you watch, like, he did a lot of Gilligan's Islands episodes.
Yeah, and
Lost in Space.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he did a lot of those Irwin Allen stuff. But my favorite thing is you go and you listen to, if you're watching a Gilligan's Island episode, you can tell the ones he did. It's kind of crazy. So it's fun kind of going back and revisiting, artists, back then before, you started collecting everything they've done. So this clip, even though it's the sell of the movie and it's not really meant for public consumption, it's still really just cool. I mean, to revisit these guys, Yeah,
absolutely. I agree. I don't enough to remember how exciting it was when the Biggs Darklighter footage from episode 4 finally.
Right.
Yeah.
I had that Star Wars CD-ROM. It was like Behind the Magic or something. But it had like screensavers where like Jawas would come out and pick up your desktop icons, and there was the scrolling cantina sort of wall screensaver that showed what all the different aliens were, but they had some deleted scenes, and I remember the Biggs Darklighter one, the on Tatooine at Anchorhead. classic scene. I was hoping they would put that in the post credits of Rogue One
Mm-hmm.
to make it canon.
Oh yeah, that would have been a
It
great.
might have been too long. Yeah.
I remember in my elementary school library they had a Star Wars book, and they had scenes from that Tatooine big Starklighter stuff in it. I can't remember exactly the book. You might know the exact book. I don't know, but it was like, that came out for the film. Obviously, it was before the final film came out because it had this scene that was not in the movie, and it had images of Biggs on Tatooine. And I started like, wait, why is this not in the movie? And then it made the whole just like was it Bigger's Canyon Back Home when he's talking to Biggs.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell is he saying that? So like I was like, oh, he's there, and so just it added. And I didn't even see the scene. It was just those pictures.
I have a recommendation for everybody. If you like stuff like that, before all this garbage went down, while I was at work, I started getting into the Star Wars radio dramas that they did on public radio. And these Star Wars radio dramas are available pretty much online. You could find them fairly easily. But they're like audiobooks, but they're all acted out. There's a narrator. You have the characters. I think Luke is the same, but everyone else has like different voices. Okay. But it takes a little getting used to. But it's the radio dramas, and I think it's like there's 5 episodes that take place during Star Wars. But what's cool is they tell you about the droids before they get their mission from Princess Leia.
Oh.
And you get the actual what's happening on the bridge of the blockade runner before we see the Star Destroyer come in and attack. We get the Biggs scene at Anchorhead with Luke. And then when the droids land in the desert, we don't follow R2-D2's story. We follow what happened to C-3PO.
Oh wow.
And so it's like a cool, they really take every opportunity to show you the timeline and everything that's happening off screen from the movie.
Oh, that's cool.
So if you get a chance, check out the Star Wars radio dramas. I just listened to the first one, so I don't know how the other ones go. Yeah. But it definitely follows a different path in the movie. Yeah. But it fills in gaps. So I highly recommend it. It's kind of like discovering new stuff. I don't know if it's canon or not. I don't really care. It's just a really fun listen.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Old School Shinobi. Yep, Chase, the official storybook for Star Wars. They used to do those storybooks for all genre films in the 70s through the 80s by Random House. And he also says, Ralph, that was actually an outstanding idea to put the Dark Lighter footage at the end of Rogue One. Maybe some enterprising film editor out there can put that together. Because it's so, like, post-credit scenes are such a thing nowadays. That'd be such that would have been awesome.
Yeah, because the thing is, I agree with the original editing of Star Wars that they took that scene out. Yeah, because it kind of, you're following the droids, and it kind of cuts away from the action, and it kind of it's a little disjointed. But it definitely should exist before Star Wars, and Rogue One would have been the perfect spot. So, yeah.
All right. Okay. Oh, other part of the Ghostbusters thing that was completely and apparently it's been around for a while, and I think one of the first people to comment on today's episode, Ghostbusters fan 64513 mentioned that in this video clip there is a short clip of a different Ghostbusters theme, not the Ray Parker Jr. who you can call Ghostbusters. But a different one by Hughes and Levy or something like that. Hughes and Thrall. Yeah. And there's a link in the description below if you want to listen to it. And there's a little bit in that other video. But it's so weird. It's like there's just certain things that you find sometimes that makes you feel like this is the alternate reality version of Ghostbusters, like, or some other thing. Yeah. It's like, wow, this could have been the Ghostbusters theme. And
I don't hate it. I don't hate it.
Fun.
It's a song that says Ghostbusters in it. There's not a lot of those.
Yeah.
There's this one. There's the cleaning up the town, and then there's the Bobby Brown song. many other Ghostbuster songs that say Ghostbusters in it? Probably not a lot.
Other than covers of the Ray Parker Jr. song. And then the Run DMC is also kind of a cover of the Ray Parker Jr. song. But yeah, no, I agree. But so what vibe did it get for you? Because when I hear it, it sounds like Bob Seger Beverly Hills Cop kind of song.
I immediately thought of it was a TV show from the 70s called Ghostbusters.
Okay.
Imagine the show Taxi, where instead of inside a taxi cab company, it takes place in the firehouse, and it's them coming back from calls and stuff. Yeah. And that was the theme for that show, the 70s Ghostbusters show, which now I totally want to see. Can you imagine?
Yeah, no, I it's so
it's Danny DeVito.
It's just, it is catchy. I don't think it has the same level of like iconic as Ray Parker Jr., but it's just one of those things like, would it have been as iconic? But obviously the creative forces, they probably solicited a few artists to make the theme.
Right. Didn't they solicit Huey Lewis in the News?
They did, and I think they turned part of the controversy of the Ghostbusters song. But from what I understand of the Ray Parker Jr. one, he got it in kind of late because he had a tough time getting the hook. Because like, what rhymes with Ghostbusters? Like, how do you do that? His fix was, okay, it's a call and response. Like, who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters. You don't have to rhyme to that. It's just that's the phrase. So, maybe like until that one was sent in, this was like, okay, we're going with this one, and then this other one comes in, and they're like, oh, this is way better. We're going to use this now. But
do you know at what point they made this video for the theaters? Like, was it like right before the movie came out? Was it like right when they're in the middle of shooting?
It was definitely while they were shooting, I think, because one, they're wearing the suits, like everything's there. They're outside of the big stage that they filmed the kind of the finale or the rooftop scenes. And so they filmed in New York first, I believe, and then they went to LA and filmed all the interior scenes for the firehouse, all interior scenes. Sedgwick Hotel was in LA. The Dana's rooftop, LA, like all of that was LA. Only the basic stuff where you're seeing like New York, it was done in New York. And so I think that was absolutely probably filmed in between, shooting scenes in the movie. Because this was to basically sell these independent theaters to show the film. So they had to do that way ahead of time.
Yeah. And so that song was in that.
Yep.
So it was definitely an early one. I'm hoping that this sort of hit big with the internet and Ghostbusters fans, the song. And I hope people seek it out. And I hope that these dudes, Tharl and whoever, I forget their names.
He was in Thrall.
Maybe we'll say like, oh, I have that if you guys want to hear it. Or maybe Sony. Yeah. Sony wants to hype up Ghostbusters so much. Either A, they put it out there for everyone to hear, or B, hand it over to Jason Reitman to put just a little bit in the soundtrack somewhere. Yeah, they could release it on the soundtrack album. I mean, I feel obviously they're going to use the Ray Parker or some variation of the Ray Parker Jr. song, but I mean, dude, it's out there. You got to slip it in somewhere. He's got to go. I mean, they've got to have stuff, right? They've got to have this music has to exist somewhere. No one threw away a tape with this song on it.
Yeah, I'd hope.
Because I mean, I'm assuming because by the time Ghostbusters came out, I would say within a year of this video that was shot, Ghostbusters came out and became huge. There's no way whoever had that tape after Ghostbusters came out would get rid of it.
Yeah, I'd hope
Ghostbusters was too big.
Yeah. I mean, it was the biggest comedy of all time until Men in Black. So, I agree. It has to be somewhere. It's really cool. I mean, the gentleman what is it? Sir Truffles. And it's kind of cool. He gave thanks to Paul Rudolph and Spook Central. That is a very, very old school Ghostbusters website.
Right.
Now, again, I've been in the Ghostbusters online community since the mid 90s. And that site's one of the OG Ghostbuster websites.
Right.
So it's kind of cool. It probably helped pull and piece it together. So that one, the link that's in the description below is pieced together from some of these, theater ad buys or
yeah. So you'll hear like the audio and
Yeah.
stuff, like the dialogue, but
Mhm.
I want that Ghostbusters TV show.
Well,
there
was a 70s Ghostbusters TV show, but it wasn't. It's the different Ghostbusters.
Yeah, it's the Filmation version.
Filmation's Ghostbusters, yes. Yeah. Which is weird, but I do like the cartoon version. And I have a pretty good collection of the Filmation's Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
the Ghost Command.
When we were talking about Ghostbusters Afterlife having like opening up to different dimensions,
yeah.
Did we mention Filmation's Ghostbusters?
We didn't, because I don't think it can be, since it's different owners of that license. Sony doesn't.
You don't think Sony can? Sony was able to get Spider-Man over to Marvel. I'm sure they could talk to Filmation or whoever and be like, "Hey, we're going to have all these different Ghostbusters from all eras. Can we borrow your property?" And they'll say, "Yeah, sure, I guess." No, but they're not doing anything with it.
I have a question though, but like, how many non-diehard
doesn't matter?
But do you think it would like land with just normal viewers? Like, they'd be like, "Who the heck are these guys?"
I think with like, I mean, they don't have to play a big part. Like I said, like if we see like a rift in space and time where the Ghostbusters are going and they're flashing things, images are flashing by, and they flashed in there, it would be fun for you guys, and the other people will just go off their back. Or if you want to spotlight them, you can, with the success of Guardians of the Galaxy, I feel like you can go that weird route and really like lean into it and have them like really, really show up.
It would
Can you imagine those interacting?
It would be trippy. It would be trippy. Because the original intent, like Aykroyd's original script it was like interdimensional. Like they go to different planets and stuff like that. It was way bigger than just, New York City janitorial ghost cleanup. So
can I bring up something that we didn't really talk about before the show?
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't know what this company is and I don't really care, but did you see Ryan Reynolds' ad?
Yes, that had Rick Moranis in it.
Dude.
Mint Mobile.
Dude, how great was it seeing him?
It was awesome. Now, everyone, it's great. It's great seeing him. Everyone's saying it's his first time being, on screen in 20-something years, but he was on the episode of Prop Culture on Disney Plus.
Yes.
Shrunk the Kids.
That was a huge surprise.
That was. And so it was really cool to see him there. Good to see. Like, I know you have beefs with Ryan Reynolds, but
this helped a lot. If he can shift his focus towards positive things, I'm all for it. I love the dude. Just please leave him alone. He's had enough tongue lashings for the last 9 years.
But
just seeing him was great. I loved it.
It was great. And I know he said he's not going to be in Afterlife. I think he hasn't really done anything. But it would have been cool to have Louis Tully back, because he is absolutely an essential character to the first two films. So maybe him coming back more and be like, maybe they'll add like a little add-on scene or something with him and Janine.
Yeah. I feel like Jason Reitman could have written something like a scene with him in mind, but not maybe pertinent to the story. So he can, if he says yes, cool. If he doesn't, maybe it won't affect anything. But I mean, I'm fine with new Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
All I want is this to be a success, so we can get a Afterlife 2 and then you could maybe bring in the characters we didn't get to see from this one.
Ooh, that's good.
Kind of sprinkle them out.
Yep, I love that. Luis says, didn't they do that in the IDW comic, the Ghostbusters real miniseries? They did real Ghostbusters, Extreme Ghostbuster, but and the 2016 Ghostbusters and the movie Ghostbusters, that was all there. But Filmation's different rights, and Old School Shinobi says, I believe Filmation is now owned by Universal. So I don't know. I saw that Reynolds ad right before I got on the show tonight.
If Universal owns it, Universal also plays nice with Marvel with the Hulk and stuff. I feel like there could be some room for negotiation.
I agree. I just don't know. I don't know if execs would even care to try.
That's why you need Jason Reitman to go in, because they're going to be like, this? Sure.
If After Life's a hit, Moranis come back for a sequel, kind of echoing your point there, Ralph. Yeah, it would be great. It would be great.
Right.
He is apparently he's going to be in the new Honey, I Shrunk the Kids movie. Like, he's going to be returning and reprising his role in that. So
cool. It's
nice to see him kind of come out of retirement. It was a tragic story with his wife passing away and him deciding to, raise his children. So absolutely admirable. Totally understand it. But
it was felt so good seeing him.
Exactly. He's a treasure. He is a comedic treasure. And it is good to see him. Absolutely. All right. That's that on the Ghostbuster front. Other big things this past week. We got our first looks at the Mandalorian. Entertainment Weekly did their fall preview, and it featured the Mandalorian, titled "The Mandalorian Strikes Back." Thoughts here on kind of, I guess, October 30th is when the show comes back.
Yeah, it looks cool. I mean, there's not a whole lot to unpack. Mm-hmm. Looks like some time has passed. We have Grief Karga with a white beard. So I don't know if this will be taking place immediately after the last
article. And I post a link to the article in the description below. But in the article, Pedro Pascal said it like picks up right after. But to your point, he didn't dye his beard. Right. Maybe he didn't dye his beard in a couple of days and it all washed out.
I don't know. Also, people were saying that there's a picture. They compared pictures of the Mandalorian with Baby Yoda. I don't care. I'm going to call him Baby Yoda. Until we find out what his species is called, that's what he's going to be called.
I feel you.
Seems like he may be a little bit taller. People have done side-by-side comparisons of the child standing next to Mandalorian from season 1 and season 2.
Which would make sense. Makes sense.
But would also say that a lot of time has passed, because in season 1, that's how big he was at 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
So who knows?
Yeah, no, I agree. I love this little Baby Yoda in this sack right there. I think that's a lot of fun.
I didn't even notice him back there.
He's like right there.
Yeah.
I also love the sigil, the what do they call it? The something horn, big horn,
the mud horn.
Mud horn. Thank you. So I did really dig that.
That's cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. No Ahsoka Tano images, which I would assume, we're not going to see any of that. I mean, really, I could see it's a lot of people are hyped about Ahsoka having her first live action appearance in this season. A lot of live action appearances of kind of favorite characters: Rex, Ahsoka, Boz Katan, which is cool because
rumors of Boba Fett too.
Boba Fett's.
Yeah.
So a lot of cool things. I assume, and maybe you assume as well, these are going to be like you're almost just getting introduced to them. They're not going to be main characters in the series.
Right.
I would think they're off episode.
I don't know if I should bring it up, but I see a lot of things on the internet about people mad that Ashley Eckstein isn't playing the live action Ahsoka. and they're already like coming down on Rosario Dawson. I think she's a good fit for the role. I think she'll do a good job. One of the things I think that, you know, I know that we associate Ashley Eckstein with the character because she's played the character since its origin.
Sure.
But, you know, it doesn't mean that we can't like the other one. I don't know what your thoughts are on Margot Robbie, but she took over a role that was well established in animation for, you know, almost 30 years.
In animation, that's where Harley Quinn started in.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I feel like as soon as she showed up, I was like, okay, she's this interpretation and this is this interpretation. I still love them both completely. So I really like Rosario Dawson. She's not gonna take this role lightly. People said, well, why doesn't she get dubbed by Ashley Eckstein? I was like, listen, you gotta separate the animated with the live action. I mean, would you want Hayden Christensen to do Anakin in the Clone Wars series? I think last week we discovered that no, you don't. There's just certain things, you know, that can be separate but still exist. I mean, look at every Batman that's taken over, and then look at the animated Batman. Like, there's different takes. I think being a DC fan, I've grown to understand that a multiverse is fantastic. You know, the multiverse allows you to enjoy different versions of the Joker without being like, but it's not the same Joker. I think that because Filoni is behind it, he'll bring continuity from the Clone Wars and Rebels and have her, you know, continue that continuity. And I know Rosario Dawson's kind of a geek. So I guarantee you, as soon as she got the role, she watched all the Clone Wars, all the Rebels.
If not already, I feel like she was a fan before she got casted in it, you know?
So, like, if I'm saying it's she has the look. She's the right age because this takes place, you know, however many years after Return of the Jedi. I mean, I'm excited. I'm excited for the Mandalorian. Did you see the picture of the Bantha?
No, I didn't.
I noticed you didn't put that up.
No, I wasn't in. Maybe I just didn't dig deep enough.
Yeah, if you just do a quick search for Mandalorian Bantha, and if you're able to toss that up on the screen on the fly,
I will. You keep talking.
But yeah, if you look at the picture we have up now, Grief Karga definitely has white beard, and he's wearing a different outfit. Mandalorian looks pretty much the same. I don't see any new Beskar armor on him. I don't see. He pretty much has the same look. And in this photo, he doesn't have the child with him. He doesn't have the bassinet or the what is it?
Anything with Bantha.
Oh my gosh,
the big elephant, right?
Yeah. Do you want to? I could send it to you.
Yeah, send it to me. I'll pull it up.
So you start talking.
I will start talking. Google has failed me. No, I mean, I think going back to the Ahsoka thing, I think you're 100% right. There's a subset of Star Wars fans that are ruining Star Wars, and they need to chill out. And because, to your point, Margot Robbie, fantastic interpretation of the character, and Solo's another great example of different actors taking on beloved characters and doing a great job. And Fetz makes a great point. Sane and rational people understand voice actors and live action actors can be different. Right. And I think 100%. I feel like Rosario Dawson can knock it out of the park. She is a nerd. She is a geek. She goes to Comic-Con every single year. I see her around. Like she has geek cred. Not that you need, but I feel like she is 100% down. I think we got to give her the
remember when Heath Ledger was cast as a Joker?
Oh, yeah,
How he just got dumped on. Yeah. Michael Keaton got dumped on for being Batman, and then wait for it to come out. If you have an issue, then bring it up, but just wait. I don't understand people getting mad at casting.
Yeah.
There's a reason why certain people are cast, and you're not behind the scenes to see why those people were chosen.
Exactly. Yep. But yeah, and I just feel like, again, as geeks, as nerds, we all need to chill a little bit sometimes, and we need to have this chill button, and let's press that chill button and wait and see what happens. And if you don't like it, that's totally fine.
Right.
If you still love Rebels and Clone Wars, it's still there. Nothing changed.
Right.
George Lucas isn't in charge anymore. He's not going to go back in and overdub all over.
Yeah, Dave Filoni is, which you don't want anybody else to be in charge of this character.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's his character. Really. It's Filoni's, like Rex and Ahsoka are his,
And I guarantee you that Dave Filoni had a long conversation with Ashley Eckstein to let him know we're thinking about casting Rosario. I'm sure.
Of course.
Listen, it's fine. Did you get that picture?
Hold on. I was talking to you. It's in here. I'm assuming. Oh, dope. That was entertaining. Why was that not in the dang article? All right, hold on.
Fett said that it was posted by Star Wars, but not in the EW article. He thinks.
Shenanigans, Star Wars. What are you doing to me here? Making me look bad live on TVs and phones and computers. Let's see.
Drop and drag. Drop and drag.
Anyway, here we go.
There you go.
Boom.
That looks like a full-size built bantha.
Well, in the original film, right, they were elephants dressed up as that. Can't probably do that today. So,
are you sure? It does. That's not CG. There's no way that's CG.
But I don't think they'd put it on an elephant now, right? Isn't there probably like animal rights or something?
Looks cozy.
Elephants like it.
Yeah. Hey, if I was an elephant and they dressed me as a bantha for a Star Wars movie, you know how stoked I would be?
I guess, if we're talking about cosplay for elephants at Comic-Con, Bantha's one that they could.
Right.
All right. So yeah, I'm excited for it. Excited. October 30th.
Just over a month away.
Really wish they'd release the theatrical versions of the original trilogy on 4K. They would sell. They could have them as legends if that makes them feel better. I feel like that's been back and forth, rumored forever. They're going to finally release the original release of Star Wars in some form. Still hasn't happened though. And I think you own Despecialized? No.
I just have the VHSs.
I do own the Specialized edition. If you don't know, it's kind of like a fan version. They basically restored the original film to HD and then made it on Blu-ray.
I think me, you, and Matthew talked about that after the show last week.
We did. You're right.
We're showing off all our VHSs.
Let's see. It's probably a team of puppeteers on a platform. In answering the Bantha thing. And James, who was cast as a Bantha? Affleck, ready to criticize it.
Right.
Anyway, all right. Last bit of news here as we're coming up at the end of our hour today. The Dune trailer dropped. I think we mentioned Blade Runner 2049. It's the same director, right? Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Did a great job with Blade Runner 2049. And I'm going to admit right now, I love a lot of things that are geeky. I don't know anything about Dune besides spice and sandworms. That's about it.
That's what I told our friend Kirk online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he saw the trailer. He's like, oh, I guess I got to read Children of Doom now. And I'm like, yeah. And I had no idea what I was talking about. I'm like, yeah. And then I mentioned like spice and worms. I'm like, yep, that's about it. That's all I know. I've seen the movie. I've seen the David Lynch film.
Okay, I haven't even seen that.
It's a little
not
bit confusing. It's
Okay.
confusing to me.
It's like a documentary about, because wasn't it kind of like a failure or something, like didn't or something?
David Lynch directed this movie instead of Return of the Jedi, which I
Mhm.
would have loved to have seen his Return of the Jedi.
Mhm.
But I guess he did this movie. I don't know 100% because I'm not the biggest Dune fan, but he directed the movie. The studio got in the way, or maybe he was behind schedule or over budget or whatever. If you watch the movie, it gets to you're like, oh, this is really cool and interesting, and it gets to a point where you're like, something happened. We're coming up on the climax way too quickly,
Mm-hmm.
and so it just feels like it just drops off.
Yeah.
I thought it looked cool. It's amazing to watch. Like it came out like around the same time as Blade Runner. It has that same sort of kind of feel as Blade Runner. So Denis Villeneuve is the perfect guy to direct this. It looks amazing. I think first of all, I'm going to go see this movie. And this is going to be where I finally learn that there's more to Dune than spice and sandworms. Because the trailer looks super interesting. I think the sandworms look awesome.
Can I just say, I was like, all right, when's the sandworm showing up? Like, all right, there it is. but
it looks awesome.
I think it looks cool too. Mariano doesn't agree. Dune trailer equals boring for him. I thought it was kind of cool. It set up a lot of stuff here. I'm still interested, but the trailer really didn't do anything for me. Dune looks like it'll be really good. Looking forward to that and Marvel's Eternals.
Sorry, I was reading ahead on
De Laurentiis, who produced Dune, wrestled Final Cut away from David Lynch, and Lynch had his name taken off the film as director.
Where's the release the Lynch cut, people?
Right? I heard Jane Lynch was cast and douche as Mrs. Dash.
No, Spice. That's a Spice joke.
Oh, okay. Oh, I got it.
I'm excited about the movie. I have one minor sort of thing that makes me apprehensive.
A shaved Jason Momoa, by the way.
Yeah, he looks cool. You got Aquaman, you got MJ and Thanos.
You also got
Apocalypse.
Yes, Apocalypse and what's his name in Star Wars?
Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, that's his real name, but what's his character in Star Wars again?
Poe Dameron.
What?
Poe Dameron.
Yes, sorry. Bad geek.
The only thing that I'm sort of nervous about. Guess who's doing the score? Why? Why did they do this to me? It's okay. I'm sure it'll be fine. Like I said, I really like the Man of Steel score, so there is some good he can do. I love Blade Runner 2049. I don't think he did the entire score. Well, he never does the entire score. I think he got credited with somebody else, but we'll see what happens. It looks cool. It looks really, really nice. So
yeah, as someone that again has no fanship towards Dune, it looks cool. I want to see that film. So if that's what they're going for, to get Dune fans and people that aren't Dune fans, then cool.
Drax the Destroyer is in it.
Yeah. Yep.
Jonah Hex. Conan. Yeah, remember Jason Momoa was Conan.
He was. Yeah. I remember. That was like
it looks cool.
It does.
And we'll let you guys know if it's boring or not, I'm sure.
Yeah. Marino says he still wants to see it, so maybe just the trailer didn't do it for him. I thought it was interesting. I have a steelbook of Dune with 4 versions of the film, including Lynch's. Okay. So old school Shinobi is a Dune fan. So Shinobi, did it make you excited as a Dune fan? I guess I would assume so, because everything I've seen of how do you pronounce his name again? Villeneuve?
Denis Villeneuve.
Villeneuve, thank you.
He did Children of Men. Remember when I had that copy of Children of Men on disc from Netflix for like 6 months, and then I just sent it back without watching it.
Yeah, and it's.
I still haven't seen it.
You still haven't seen it?
I still haven't seen it. No.
It's a great film.
Oh, I have a question.
Yeah.
How'd your viewing of Bill and Ted go?
Something.
All right. Where's that button? Where's your soundboard? Oh, and they're laughing at you. Wow.
Stop it! Not funny.
Wow, couple stragglers.
It was really funny. It was really, really funny. I love the trailer. So there you go, Dune fan. Love the trailer too. So, all right. Well, that is a good place as any to wrap up this episode of Geek Dad Live. It looks like we had no stoppage from any corporate overlords. So we were successful in that aspect, Ralph.
Right.
If you want to come to a future show, if you're watching this after the fact, we do this Thursday nights at 9:00. And what's that? 6 Pacific. 6 Pacific.
That's where I am.
Let's see. We got Oak City Gamers, Yo GDL. Oak City Gamers. I've watched your show. They're based in Raleigh. They have a really fun show. Check them out. They basically, they'll go to the same flea market I go to. They're more gaming than the toys and stuff, but they have a really fun show. Check them out. Was directed by Alfonso Cuarón.
Oh.
So not.
Hey, I haven't seen it, so that's probably the problem. I think he did Sicario.
Sandworms from Beetlejuice. No, this is the other Sandworms.
They've been recast.
I hate those guys. You watched us? Yeah, we're in Raleigh. Yeah, I've seen your show. A really fun show. It's like, and I'm not like I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know everything, but it's like a group of friends. They have really great chemistry. They have good comedic timing. So a lot of fun to watch.
Do they play this game?
No, more video games. Board games. More video.
All right, that's fine.
So yeah, I think it's good. We need a guest for the thrift show, oakcitygamers@gmail.com. I'm happy to guest star.
Everybody email that.
Yeah, we will all guest star. Oh, there you go. I play Fireball Island. Okay, so
perfect.
Great game. Ralph, whenever you do move here, we'll do Fireball Island tournaments here as well.
Absolutely. And then
I think that's a good place to stop it. We'll see you guys next Thursday for another check-in on the week in Geek. Until then, hasta luego and goodbye.
Listen to the Star Wars radio dramas.